Okay, I'm revisiting the Mayan sky god video because I know people wanted close-ups and whatnot, so I added some close-ups and some pictures so you can get a better look at this thing. It's still one of the coolest things I've ever caught, so it's still interesting. But you'll notice this picture right here. I cannot pronounce this thing, but it's the god of death, and he takes on a lot of features that you'll see in this Mayan sky god. But he's got the square body right here. He's got what don't really look like arms, but more like a mechanical type of thing. The lenses around the head, the skull face, this odd thing right here, you'll see these look like teardrops sometimes towards the bottom of the body. Okay. And here he is. Maybe I can draw him in a little bit. Okay. Well, you can see that. Okay, I didn't do that. Obviously, here's a square body. It's kind of hard to actually see up in here, but with my own eyes, I could actually see little ships in here and cross sections of where all these little drones are being stored inside of this thing. And they come out the top of this shoulder right here in this area. You'll notice that there's a lot of smoke in this area. That's to hide the ships coming out of his shoulders. And here's another one right here. They pull them out of there, and then they use this stuff as cover. There's a lot going on up here on top of the head. It's got like a claw right here. You can kind of see that. Almost takes on a bird beak type look. This right here is pretty interesting. This square piece. This is what I believe they're calling a solar sail. You'll look around this whole area, right, and there's square. Everything around here is square, right? Even these things right here that look like, you know, a breast or chest, right? There's actually one right here, and there's one right here. And you'll see pictures of this later, but they're actually pushing up these squares into place, what we're calling the solar sail. You can see it right up here by his head, and you can see it right here where it's really light white. Whatever this is a big old square piece right here. And all this stuff right here is just used to hide what's going on up here. This, what I'm calling a Mayan sky god, is more of a robot that's doing this. It's hiding something up there by the sun. And when this thing is put into place, it knocks the color out of your phone and turns everything into orange and yellow. Okay. And here's a first close-up on his face. Get a better look at it. There's better pictures, but you'll notice he's got a white eye area, right? A white mouth, right? And he's got his lips are colored right here. And see, this isn't real. This isn't a real Mayan sky god. This is probably what the Mayans saw, but you'll notice that the head and everything just transforms. You see claws coming out everywhere. You see openings up in the head. You see hoses and lenses and all sorts of strange stuff. So this is just some kind of robotic being with a hologram over it. It's all made to make you look at that and not realize what's really going on here. And here's a funny picture of this god, right? He's the god of death. You can see the openings up in his neck, the white face, right? The upturned nose. I forgot to mention that. I put this sensor thing here just because, I don't know, because I could. And he looks like a creep, so I thought it was funny. But he does not have his wiener hanging out. It just looked that way, so I thought it was funny. And here is him, like when I first start getting him in the picture. You know what else I noticed is really strange? The sky right here. This has got a dark gray this whole half of the sky, and then this other half of the sky is a light blue. Right? What's doing that? This hand, if you watch it right here, actually is putting something into place, and it looks like it's covering the sun. It's really strange, like it's blocking out the light to that area. Maybe I should play it. I think it takes too long though. You can see it move right there really good. And there was some birds that fly by all the time when these things are around, which I do not believe are birds. I believe they're actually holograms that come with this whole little package deal. You notice how dark it is getting right up here, where this arm-like appendage is engulfing the sun. It's not swallowing it, but it's hiding it. It's like hugging it, I guess is the best word. And that is just so weird. This part of the sky turns purple and blue and dark, and this side stays over here. It stays whitish blue. Right? What's going on? You know, it just is some part of the sun simulator being turned off so that they can do something. I mean, something's being worked on. They're doing work up here. That's what they're doing with this robot. And you'll notice right here, I don't know if I did a picture. Let's just zip on up through here. Okay, here's a picture, I guess, where he obviously looks a lot like this guy. And here's a close-up on the face. You'll notice there's a bunch of lines in the neck, kind of like that last picture where the neck was opening up. And he's slowly turning his head right now. And right here, I'll get a close-up later, you'll see that there's like hoses coming out of these socket eye areas. And oh, there, the face really starts getting clear right there. Really clear. You can't tell that. Yeah, it's spooky. Really spooky. There's his little robot arm. And see this, I actually remember this moment right here, because I didn't really know what I was recording, but I knew something strange was in front of the sun, so I had my phone there and I was looking at it with my eyeballs. And I remember this exact moment when I looked at this thing and it was looking at me, and I just went, "Ugh." Like, whatever I'm imagining, I thought to myself, is really creepy, and I do not want to look at this anymore, because that's what I saw, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm seeing stuff." So I just looked away, but thank God I kept recording. But you can see his little upturned nose. He kind of almost looks like a damn Looney Tune animal or something. He looks strange. Right here you'll see this big line right here, right? Going down the side. Going up from his skull down here. And it's like a big lens. It's not really just an eyeball, it's just like a lens that sits in front of these sockets, right? And things come out of these sockets, and it's hard to tell what's coming out of them unless you really zoom in on them. But see, then look at his mouth right here. Doesn't his mouth look more like a dock? Look at this, like you think that's a tongue, right? But I mean, it's looking more like a dock. Things come up and get sucked into here. They come out of here, right? And the lips look like, you know, like multiple things are going on around these lips. He's got his little upturned nose where I'm sure things come out of there too. And then this right here, I think I have a picture of this later. There's a picture of a god, and he's got what looks like an arm coming out of his face, right? When this guy's face is turned the opposite way, it does look like an arm is coming out of the face. But you can see right there, you can see the 90-degree angles and the different parts of it. You can tell this is something robotic. That's what it does. And you know, I'd have to argue that this is all AI. I mean, there's so many things going on here at once. It's ridiculous. I can't imagine how, you know, some creature, you know, even how intelligent it is, can control this thing. Okay, this is a close-up on the eye socket. I know it's hard to see, but yeah, right here is I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I did this. But this is the eyeball area. This is what's supposed to be the eyeball area, right? I'll try to make out what I see here. But I see a big old suction cup or lens right here. And then I see half of a hose. I would argue that the other half is just being cloaked or whatnot. And there's some weird stuff over here. I can't really make it all out. You see that? That's a pretty decent. There's a close-up on the eye. Still kind of hard to see, but here's a close-up on the face. Close-up on the head. You can see the claw right here. And something strange going on here. And you can see this lens, or whatever it is kind of coming off the face. You can see this like hole right here. It looks like a V, right? And there's a bunch of smoke coming, piling out of it. And it's to hide whatever's really here. Here's a good close-up. When you get up here, you'll notice they've got hoses coming out of the eyes. And there's little arms, little socket things. Here's a better picture. I don't know if I actually get it in worth a crap. I tried, man. See all that? Strange, odd. There's the representation. You know, an Aztec or Mayan representation. It's got a guy with a what looks like the hawk mask or headdress over top of him. Kind of resembled the thing that's going on with his head. Like I said, kind of looks like a bird, right? I can see that. Maybe it's not the same representation, but it's what I found at the moment. Here's something strange. Like, The top of his head is kind of strange and awkward looking right now. It's kind of hard to make out what's going on here, but I did notice this right here. It's, you know, it's a claw. It's a claw right here. And this thing is what's holding on to it. I imagine there's a huge long string of rope or whatever, of whatever nature in there. And that's where it comes from. Okay, this is a good one. This is the beginning of seeing the robot. I'm just kind of watching all these squares, the square type stuff over here. Kind of odd. Yeah, they're all drone ships. They're all just cloaked. You can see it right in here more and more. You'll see the little holes everywhere. There's a little hole right there. Little hole, little hole, little hole. Right here. Right here. Everywhere. Right here. They're all just cloaked ships. And you just can't see them. You can see them all floating around. They're starting to get more and more defined. Yeah, see how all these clouds are just coming together? I mean, yeah, they don't look perfect, but I'll tell you this, right angles do not exist in organic, I don't know, symmetry. It's just, it's not organic. Right angles, straight edges, those do not exist, you know. Not in nature. It's not natural, at least. It can happen, obviously, right? But it's just not normal. And this thing right over here, you might not get a good look at it, but it basically looks like one of those gods' heads. And at some points, it's got, like, you know, a jaguar or a dragon over the top of it. And it's just another ship, too. It looks like a god. But only he's like kind of like flying like Superman. Now his face is starting to take on that like encompassed animal over the head sort of thing. See it? See how it's happening? Yep. Here we go again. And you'll notice this purple thing. A lot of people say, and I'm sure it is it's the center of the sun simulator. It's taking whatever energy from the sun and it's helping project it through the sun simulator in the mirrors or the glass that's making it. I don't know, I've heard it called like a torsion field or something. I don't know the mechanics or the science of it, but I know I see it a lot though. And just look at how weird this just looks. This just looks weird. When you look at the clouds on the left of it, the left and the right, they're all just both going in their own directions, total opposite ways, right? And yeah, I had somebody tell me, oh, well, that's just because they're at two different levels. Well, no, they're not. These clouds are at the same altitude, and they're going in different directions. It's not normal. You only think it's normal because you don't pay attention to it. And here's a little Mayan god. He's doing his thing again. And here's a depiction of the gods with their little zebra striped kind of ropes coming out of them with their little lenses right here at the very ends of them. We've got a bunch of that going on. Get this guy with the hand coming out of his face. You'll see these detached heads of animals and humans just floating around in the sky. And it's because they create it, you know, on a hand or whatever, and then, you know, the hand moves, and then the image that's made out of a cloud goes with it. And this is pretty cool. That was what that picture was about. Right here is exactly what that thing was depicting. This black and white hose-like thing, and this is actually coming out of what looks like his hand. And then right here, you've got this lens-looking thing right here. Actually look like claws right now, but I would imagine that they're the actual lenses that you're seeing. Oh, you know what? Now I'm kind of seeing more. Obviously I'm seeing more right here. But it does resemble the what I just seen in that picture. Maybe there's multiple. Maybe there's a ship right here, and that's what's making this look strange now. Oh, you can watch it retract. This is actually going backwards. You see that? You see that? Is that not weird as hell? I mean, you're watching this weird shit happen right there in front of you. See how they're all pulled out? Zing, and they're shrinking back in. Right back into it. And here's from the other side of his face, right? Here's what almost looks like a dragon head right here. You could say it looks like a claw, but I gave you a good look at it earlier. And what it really is, it's just a huge claw coming out of an orifice of what looks like a head. That's new. New to me. Just seeing this. Huh. Claw right here. Right? Wow. Look at that. You see that? Huh. Odd. I don't know. You can see that though. I don't know. This is all the hand area, the right side of the face, up where this solar sail is. I don't know if I'm just pointing out this, because this looks like another drone, like it's interacting with another drone right here. I guess I just drew this out, but here it is again. You'll see this shape a lot. Not totally square, but it's always got these little tail ends. Kind of reminds me of something with horns. You know, you'll see these things everywhere. I see them all over my neighborhood, up in the trees. Scary stuff. Oh. And this is the head of the giant. Again, with the claw coming out of its face. You can see all this stuff spraying out the side of the head. It's opening. You can see how it's opened right here. It almost looks like it's taking on a different shape. Like this, you could maybe consider this the eyeball area. Here's some nostrils, right? Here's a mouth opening up. Wow. That looks way different. Yeah. And see, this is that picture I showed you earlier. See if I can kind of point it out. I'm not good at drawing, so this is probably going to come out really crappy. I just wanted to point out the rings. I can see the rings. Right? It's like it's open though right here. This is a big open area. Something's coming out, and you got the same going on over here. I think maybe I was trying to show these ships coming out of here. There's a lot of square looking areas, square looking stuff. This looks like a bug, but see, it's all got strings coming off of it. If you stop and look at this stuff, that's what I would recommend. Just stop and see how many different things you can see. I mean, because it's everywhere, you can't make it all out. And as soon as you make it out, then you go to the next scene, everything's changed because it's all holographic. They can cloak, you know, half of them at a time, or however much they want to cloak at a time, and spray their clouds different colored powders and smoke. And you see you got this hole right here, and these things are all, I'm just pointing to these hoses. They all look like they're all kept like on some kind of big tubular strings or something, which I would argue are these hologram tubes that I've been seeing in the trees everywhere. I think that's a lot of what this stuff is. It's part of the masking or camouflaging that they're doing to hide themselves. Yeah, you can see something strange happening right here. No idea what it is. I can tell we got the little claw thing going on here. I don't know. Well, I probably lost a picture right here. Right here, check this out. Tell me this isn't weird. What is this? Look at that. I mean, that looks like something I've seen in some kind of sci-fi fantasy movie or something. What it is it's a lot of things. Right now, it's spewing out of smoke out of it. To do what? I don't know. To maybe hide something, right? But there's hoses and lenses and everything that comes out of here. But it's being hidden. Either that or it's projecting something, you know. It's just projecting an image of what it wants me to think it is, you know. It could be so many different things. And now it's pouring out some black or purple stuff. But it all happens in real slow-mo. Then, let's see here. Then you'll notice this. I kind of thought it was funny. Because I said to myself, well, that looks like a damn hummingbird, right? And what's it? It's going for the thing that I just pointed out to you. That, I don't know, that big orbital ball that we were just pointing out, right? Oh, wow, that looks like a hummingbird. I didn't think I'd really reference it, you know, because people would say, oh, that's just you imagining things, right? Well, look at that. Look at this Mayan sky god with his little, yeah, it's not an orbital deal, right? But you got a hummingbird sucking off something of him, Is that not a representation of what I just showed you? And I don't know if we passed it up, but this is like the same looking guy. And the reason I posted this picture is because when you look at this guy, sometimes you'll see holes all over him. There's holes here and holes here and holes here and holes here. Everywhere a hole. And you'll see that on him too. I don't know if I missed it or what. And here he is again. From the beginning. And this is the claw area, the hand. He's putting a square up against a bunch of other squares that look like a blanket or a sail in front of the sun. You can see it move in real time right here. Well, I sped it up, but you're seeing it happen. Then underneath his arm is what at times looks like chest or breast. And here's a picture of the claws that the gods had, right? That's not a drawing, that's an actual artifact, right? And that looks like a lot of the claws that I'm seeing coming out of this thing. And there's, I think this is about the, oh, here he is again. And there's just another thing where if you look, sometimes you'll see detached heads everywhere, animals and people, and it's because obviously they're making it with clouds, and then it moves so it comes off, right? And that's what this is representing. And in these gods you'll see here he's got the little claw on his head, he's got the lenses that you see everywhere coming out of it, and he had the black and whitish face. I think that's why I picked this picture. And then here, I picked this one out because of the chest. If you watch the chest, it actually grows, and it's what's putting that square and pace in front of the sun. But here's a representation of that. And this is right when this robot gets this square piece. It looks like it's actually getting it locked into place. And as soon as it does that, you can see it's really starting to light up, right? Everything's kind of changing. Then boom! Once it's locked into place. And then you'll notice right here, you can really see this, what looks like a chest, right? But then you'll notice a lens or circular structure above it, which is either one of those suction cups helping to maintain the square into place, or it's a lens. And the lenses, they seem to use the lenses just to obfuscate your vision, distort your vision so you can't see what's really there. And that's what happens as soon as I get the solar sail in place. It's really hard to make out what's really up there. I mean, it makes everything kind of look more like clouds, but it removes the color, so it's like, what the hell? Like, that isn't obvious? How do they explain that? I'd like to find a scientist that would explain any of this to me. Here it is again. You see that? I don't know. That could just be a reflection, but this blue thing kind of got me. I don't know. You see? Yeah, you see? It looks like it's damn floating all over the place. What is it? It's just a reflection. It's kind of hard to see into this back. I don't know if you will be able to see it. I'm telling you, they're just a bunch of ships. You've got these, look like an exoskeleton, and there's ships right here. You can see a round one right here, and they're all just connected, and these claws come and pick them up, and pew, pew, they shoot out everywhere. I mean, look at right here. What the hell's going on right here? I mean, this looks like a literal demon. He's got horns in the eyeball, right? But he's got on like some kind of hose neck, right? I mean, there's a million things going on at once right here. So strange and scary. Well, that's it for now.